Hi friends, welcome to the 15th episode of Apt Guide. In this episode, we will be solving some other types of problems on simple interest and compound interest. So let us go straight away to the questions. 73rd question is, there is 60% increase in an amount in 6 years at simple interest. What will be the compound interest of rupees 12,000 after 3 years at the same rate? So in this question, they are telling that when it is simple interest, the amount is becoming 60% more than that of the principal in 6 years. They are asking us to find out the compound interest when the principal is 12,000 and the time period is 3 years for the same rate of interest. So, using this first condition, we need to find out the rate of interest. Okay, in order to find out the compound interest. So, let us first find out the rate of interest by using this condition. So, they are telling that amount is 60% more than that of the principal. So, principal is not given, and since this is given in percentage, let us assume the principal as 100. And in 6 years, the amount is becoming 60% more than that of the principal. So, let us take the time period as 6 years. Then amount will be equal to 60% more than this value is 160. So, amount will be 160. Then what will be the interest? Interest will be equal to amount minus principal, that is 160 minus 100, that is 60. Now, we know that rate of interest is the interest when principal is 100 and time period is 1 year. So, if we find out this interest value, we will get the rate of interest. Okay. So, when time period is 6 years, interest is 60. So, when time period is 1 year, what will be the value of interest? Interest and time period are directly proportional to each other. So, we can find this interest by cross multiplying. So, 60 into 1 divided by this 6 will give you this interest. So, that will be equal to 10. So, when principal is 100 and time period is 1 year, interest is equal to rate of interest. Hence, rate of interest is equal to 10%. Now, let us find out the compound interest by using this rate, this principal and this time period. When the time period is 3 years, according to Pascal's triangle method, we need to write 1, 3, 3, 1. So, what is the principal? Principal is 12,000. That you write below this one. Then below this 3, this 12,000 into R by 100. That is 12,000 into 10 by 100. That is equal to 1200. Then below this 3, this value into 10 by 100. So 1200 into 10 by 100 will be 120. Then here this 120 into 10 by 100. That will be equal to 12. Now the part just after this principal is for compound interest. Hence, compound interest is equal to 3 into 1200 plus 3 into 120 plus 1 into 12. So, on solving this, you will get the answer as rupees 3,972. So, this is the compound interest. 74th question is, when the rate of interest on a loan is increased from 4% to 5% per annum, the interest is increased rupees 1.11 more per month than before. What is the principal amount of loan? So, in this question, they are telling that the rate of interest is increasing from 4% to 5%. Then the interest is increased by 1.11 per month. And they are asking us what is the principal amount. So, let us write, when the rate of interest is 4%, how can we write? Principal will be 100, time period is 1 year, then interest will be equal to 4. Now, if the rate of interest is 5%, how can we write? Principal is 100, time period is 1 year, interest will be equal to 5. Okay. Now, in the question, the interest is difference in the interest per month is given as 1.11. So, let us find out the difference in this interest when the principal is 100 and the time period is 1 year. Okay. So, the difference between this will be 1 when the principal is 100 and the time period is 1 year. 1 year can be written as 12 months. But we need the difference for 1 month. For 12 months, if the difference is 1, then for 1 month what will be the difference? So, difference will be equal to, on cross multiplying you will get 1 into 1 by 12. So, 1 by 12 is the difference when the principal is 100 and the time period is 1 month. Okay. So, the difference in the interest is given in the question as 1.11 for 1 month. So, in that situation we need to find out the principal. So, if 1 by 12 can be represented in the question as 1.11, then how can we represent 100? This, on finding this value, you will get the value for the principal. Hence, the principal will be equal to, on cross multiplying you will get 100 into 1.11 divided by 1 by 12. That will be equal to rupees 1332. Hence, the principal amount will be equal to 1332. 75th question is, a sum of money amounts to rupees 2750 in 2 years at 5% per annum. At what rate the same money amounts to rupees 3000 in 2 years? So, in this question they are telling that a particular principal value amounts to rupees 2750 in 2 years and the rate of interest in that condition is given as 5%. Okay, then we need to find out the rate of interest when the amount is 3000 and the time period is 2 years and for that same principal value. So, first we need to find out the principal. Now, here the rate of interest in the first situation is given as 5%, which means when the principal is 100, time period is 1 year, interest is equal to 5. Now, when the principal is 100, interest is 5, what will be the amount? Amount will be equal to principal plus interest, that is 100 plus 5, 105. But in the question, the amount is given for 2 years. Hence, when the principal is 100, time period is 2 years, what will be the amount? So, first what will be the interest? Interest will be equal to 5 into 10, 5 into 2, that is 10. Then, what will be the amount? 100 plus 10, that will be equal to 110. Now, when the time period is 2 years, amount is given as 2750. So, when the principal is 100, time period is 2 years, amount is given as 110. So, this 110 is written in the question as 2750. Then, in order to find out the principal, we need to see how can we write this 100. If 110 can be written as 2750, how can we represent this 100? On finding this value, we will get the value of the principal. So, principal will be equal to, on cross multiplying, 100 into 2750 divided by this 110 will give you the principal value, that will be equal to rupees 2500. Now we have the principal, the amount and the time period. We need to find out the rate of interest. Okay. So when the amount is 3000 and principal is 2500, what will be the interest? Interest will be equal to amount minus principal, that is 3000 minus 2500, that will be equal to 500. And we know that interest is equal to PRT by 100. Now on substituting all this value in this equation, you will get the value for the rate of interest. So interest is rupees 500 and that is equal to principal is 2500 into R we need to find out, and the time period is given as 2 years by 100. So by solving this, you will get the rate of interest as 10%. So this is the answer. 76th question is, the interest on a certain deposit at 4.5% per annum is rupees 202.5 in 1 year. How much will the additional interest in 1 year be on the same deposit at 5% per annum? So in this question, they have given the interest for 1 year when the rate of interest is 4.5%. We need to find out the additional interest when the rate of interest is 5% and for the same principal value. In the question, the principal value is not given. So first we need to find out what is the principal. So in the first sentence, it is given that rate of interest is equal to 4.5%. So from this we can write when principal is 100, time period is 1 year, interest is equal to 4.5. So when the time period is 1 year, interest is 4.5. But in the question it is given that the interest is 202.5 for the time period 1 year. So we can write this interest as 202.5. If we can represent 4.5 as 202.5, how can we represent this principal 100? If you find this value, you will get the value of the principal. So principal is equal to 100 into 202.5 divided by 4.5. 100 into 202.5 divided by 4.5. So that will be equal to rupees 4,500. Hence the principal is rupees 4,500. Now we need to find out the additional interest or the difference in the interest. So first we need to find out what is the difference in the rate of interest. So difference in the rate of interest is this 5 minus 4.5. That will be equal to 0.5%. So from this we can write when the principal is 100, time period is 1 year, difference in interest is equal to difference in rate of interest. So that will be equal to 0.5. So when the principal is 100, interest is or difference in interest is 0.5. But we need to find out the difference in interest when the principal is 4,500. So if 100 can be represented as 4,500, how can we represent 0.5? On finding this value, you will get the value of the difference in the interest when the principal is 4,500. Now see, when you multiply this 100 by 45, you are getting 4,500. So if you multiply this 0.5 by 45, then you will get the value of the difference in the interest. Hence difference in interest is equal to 0.5 into 45 or 45 into 0.5 can be written as 1 by 2. Hence the difference in interest will be equal to rupees 22.5. So when the principal is 4,500, difference in the interest will be equal to rupees 22.5. So this is the answer. 77th question is, what is the present worth of rupees 132 due in 2 years at 5% simple interest per annum? So in this question we need to find out the principal where the amount, time period and rate is given. So the rate of interest is given as 5%. So we can write when principal is 100, time period is 1 year, interest will be equal to rate of interest, that is 5. Then what will be the amount? Amount will be equal to 100 plus 5, that is equal to 105. But we have the amount for 2 years. So when the principal is 100, time period is 2 years, what will be the interest? Interest will be equal to 5 into 2, that is 10. Then what will be the amount? Amount will be 100 plus 10, that is 110. So when the time period is 2 years, amount is given as rupees 132. So here when the time period is 2 year, amount we have it as 110. So this 110 can be represented as 132. So if 110 can be written as 132, how can we write this 100? On finding this value, you will get the value of the principal or the present worth. So present worth will be equal to 132 into 100 divided by 110. 132 into 100 divided by 110. On solving this, you will get the value as rupees 120. So this is the present worth and this is the answer. 78th question is, find the amount of equal installment, annual payment of which will discharge a debt of rupees 2,120 due in 4 years at 4% per annum of simple interest. So in this question we need to find out the annual installment. So let us assume the annual installment as 100. So let us consider the annual installment as 100. Then the money deposited in the first year is 100. So now the rate of interest is 4%, and when the principal is 100, time period is 1 year, rate of interest will be equal to interest. So that will interest will be equal to 4. So second year, the amount will be equal to that 100 plus 4, that will be equal to 104. Now in the third year, the amount will be equal to 108. In the fourth year, the amount will become 112. Then what is the total amount? Total amount will be equal to 424. This 424 is given in the question as 2120. If 424 can be written as 2120, we need to find out this annual installment. Then how can we represent this 100? This we will get on cross multiplying. Hence the annual installment will be equal to 100 into 2120 divided by this 424. Hence the answer will be equal to rupees 500. So the annual installment will be rupees 500. 79th question is, a sum of money is borrowed and paid back in 2 annual installment of rupees 882 each, allowing 5% compound interest. The sum borrowed is. So in this question they are telling that a particular principal value which is borrowed is to be paid back in 2 equal annual installment, which means he has to pay back the money after the first year. Also he has to pay back the money after the second year, and the amount which he is paying back after the first year should be same as that of the amount which he is paying back after the second year, and that particular amount is given as rupees 882. They have also given the rate of interest as 5%. Then we need to find out what is the principal amount. So in compound interest we know that amount is equal to P into 1 plus R by 100 whole raised to N. So what will be the amount after the first year? Amount after the first year is given as 882. So on substituting the values, we will get 882 is equal to P1. So let us consider this principal as P1 into 1 plus 5 by 100 whole raised to 1. So on solving this, you will get the principal as P1 is equal to 882 into 20 by 21. Now what will be the amount after the second installment? So that amount is also given as 882. So 882 is equal to P2 into 1 plus 5 by 100 whole square. So after the second year, N will be equal to 2. So from this, P2 will be equal to 882 into 20 by 21 whole square. We need to find out the total principal. So the total principal will be equal to P1 plus P2. That is 882 into 20 by 21 plus 882 into 20 by 21 whole square. So on solving this, you will get 882 into 20 by 21 into 1 plus 20 by 21. So the answer will be equal to rupees 1640. So on solving this, you will get the total principal as rupees 1640. So here finishes the last part of simple interest and compound interest. If you felt this video helpful, like it, share it and subscribe it. Also press the bell button so that you get the notification when I am uploading the next videos. I will be back with another topic of quantitative aptitude in the next episode. Thank you for watching the video. Bye.